Rachel Zegler has stirred up quite a storm, and it's not the kind of buzz Disney was hoping for. When Disney cast her as Snow White in their upcoming live action remake, many fans and critics were baffled. Why her? They asked. Snow White is an iconic character, the first Disney princess, beloved for generations. And yet, many argue that Zegler is one of the least fitting actresses for such a legendary role. But the controversy doesn't stop there. Disney didn't just gamble on Zegler, they also made a major change to Snow White's backstory. In this version, her name isn't tied to her iconic pale complexion anymore. Instead, she's called Snow White because she survived a childhood blizzard. A blizzard. Let that sink in. This decision feels like a step too far for many fans. It's like rewriting Cinderella to make her famous for loving shoes instead of losing one at the ball. When you mess with the foundation of a classic, you're bound to face backlash, and Disney certainly is. But Zegler's casting and the altered story aren't the only issues here. Her own actions have fanned the flames. Here's a rule of thumb I've shared before. Whatever your profession, actor, musician, producer, it's a bad idea to drag politics into your career. Yet, Zegler walked straight into that trap. Her political remarks on Instagram sparked a wave of backlash, alienating fans and creating tension behind the scenes. The fallout? Disney reportedly forced her to issue an apology. But the damage didn't stop there. Blumhouse Productions, known for their wildly successful horror films, reportedly dropped Zegler from an upcoming trilogy. That's a huge opportunity lost. Meanwhile, Disney has been quietly taking steps to distance themselves from her as well. And let's not ignore the growing reputation Zegler seems to be earning in Hollywood. Word is, she's a nightmare to work with, demanding, controlling, especially when it comes to how her character should be portrayed. Now, it's one thing if a seasoned, award winning veteran calls the shots. People like Meryl Streep or Denzel Washington have earned that level of respect. But Zegler? She's still new to the industry, and this kind of behavior isn't winning her any favors. To make matters worse, this all comes as Disney faces major financial struggles. The studio is already navigating layoffs and budget cuts across their divisions. And now they're also dealing with the fallout from Zegler's public missteps. The marketing campaign for Snow White 2025 is reportedly in chaos. Canceled appearances, lost performances. These aren't just PR headaches, they're missed opportunities to salvage what could already be a doomed project. Take the Thanksgiving parade, for example. Zegler was supposed to perform live as Snow White in New York City. This wasn't just a fun event, it was a marketing goldmine and reportedly worth millions for her. But Disney axed it. And it doesn't end there. Rachel Zegler was originally slated to share the stage with Gal Gadot in a major promotional event. But Gadot, perhaps sensing the storm brewing, backed out weeks ago. The reason? Rumors suggest she found Zegler too difficult to work with. That marked the start of a string of cancellations involving Zegler, as Disney seems to be cutting their losses. And with the film still months away, it's hard to see how they recover from this. The bigger picture? This isn't just about Rachel Zegler, it's about the growing divide between Disney's vision and their audience's expectations. And right now, that divide looks like a chasm they might not be able to cross. Let's talk about one of the canceled events that really had fans buzzing: a high-profile Christmas performance in New York City. This wasn't just any gig, it was supposed to be a major moment in Disney's campaign for Snow White. While the exact venue wasn't confirmed, insiders speculated it would happen in none other than Times Square, one of the most iconic stages in the world. Picture this: Rachel Zegler, dressed as Snow White, serenading a packed holiday crowd in the heart of New York. The performance was designed to be a showstopper, cementing her as the face of Disney's live action reboot and bringing in millions of dollars in residuals. But now it's gone, completely scrapped. And then came the biggest blow, the cancellation of the much anticipated New Year's Eve promotion, also set in New York City. This one wasn't just about acting. Disney was planning to showcase Zegler's musical side, putting her on stage with a guitar and a microphone, showing the world she could do more than just act. It was supposed to be her breakout moment, a chance to expand her brand as a singer and performer. This wasn't just a performance, it was a career pivot, a backup plan. If things didn't pan out in acting, music was her way to diversify her career. Disney's vision was clear. They wanted to market Zegler as a multi talented star. But that vision is now a pipe dream. Both performances are off the table, and Zegler is reportedly furious, especially about the New Year's gig. For her, it was going to be the biggest stage of her career. But for Disney, the cancellations are strategic. They save millions of dollars while trying to salvage what's left of Snow White 2025 after the relentless backlash. Here's where things get even messier. After these performances were axed, rumors began swirling that Zegler was playing the race card behind the scenes. Word has it, Disney might even exclude her from the world premiere's live stage presentations. And frankly, this backlash seems like something Zegler walked right into. Her comments about her political beliefs and her criticism of fans, they backfired in the worst way. Let's rewind a bit. In 2022, she made headlines for a bizarre incident that alienated many viewers. Then, in 2023, the controversy only grew. Families started calling for a boycott of Snow White after Zegler's remarks made the rounds online. And just a few days ago, she was back on Instagram, ranting about politics again. This time, Disney had to step in. They not only forced her to apologize, but took an even bigger step, removing her from live TV appearances. These appearances would have involved Zegler singing and playing guitar, all while promoting her Snow White role. But here's the kicker. The way Zegler's Snow White is being styled in this reboot, it's unsettling. Let's be honest, her look has been compared to Lord Farquaad from Shrek, and it's hard to unsee it. The haircut alone is completely out of place for a classic character like Snow White. It's safe to say this entire project is a mess, and the fallout, it's hitting everyone involved, but especially Zegler. The performances are gone. The public goodwill is fading. And now, even her career momentum is on shaky ground. As we move forward, things get a little more intense because, believe it or not, Disney shareholders are already putting pressure on the company to fire her entirely from the Walt Disney Company. This is despite the fact that she was removed from all upcoming Disney projects that she was supposed to be involved in, including Toy Story 5, which, incidentally, she was terminated from. The shareholders are now worried about Snow White's performance, particularly in light of her recent remarks that can only be described as irredeemable behavior and her apology as lacking sincerity. As you can see, Rachel Zegler's increasing negative personality attribute is something that the cast and crew have reportedly grappled with often. She apologized, if you will. You can claim that it wasn't sincere. She had to say this because Disney made her. Disney should issue an apology if they didn't intervene to inform her. She would never have apologized, I promise you. That's not her personality, and she's not that kind of actress. Once more, the Walt Disney Company took this action because the public's outcry was simply too strong. Most people shouted out, and this was the first time the media had covered it. Thus, he had the strange circumstance first. The fact that the media didn't cover it as extensively as they did recently spoke a lot about it. It truly made Rachel Zegler the center of attention, to the point where Disney had to take action. We discussed this, and now you see that a lot of stuff is really making Disney reconsider what they should do with Snow White. They had to take some sort of public action. The board of directors has been seriously discussing with Bob Bohr whether or not they even want to release this movie in theaters. They were even considering launching it on Disney Plus instead, which would be extremely expensive. For that reason, many board of directors and advisors are telling Bob Iger to just keep it in theaters, deal with the consequences, and let it go through the real phase. What they should do, in my opinion, is Batgirl the thing, cancel it completely, and store it in a vault. Overall, though, I'd like to know what everyone thinks of this in the comments section below. Additionally, if you liked today's content, please give this video a thumbs up to help the channel. And I'll see you all later